guys, Brian from Snowwalker Bushcraft, and today I want to kind of go over the contents of what I have in this pack that I have. This is a Frost River pack. It's the small day utility pack or small utility pack, and essentially it's an envelope style pack. Nothing great about it, no frills, one single pocket on the inside with a sleeve pocket in there as well. Put maps and things like that in there. This is a kit that I'm carrying now. This is kind of like what I'm going through. If you take a look at Sarge Ferry's channel, you'll see a lot of the same things that we carry, and I kind of attribute that to redundancy as well. We've gone to the same schools and things of that nature, but again, you know, there are some subtle differences in the kits that we're carrying. Again, you have to remember that, you know, what works for him may not necessarily work for me, and what works for me may not work for him. And that's, again, you know, that's with everybody. And I think everybody that's actually watched my videos, they've watched and they've heard me say time and time again, you know, you need to design your kit around yourself and what works for you. So again, you know, Frost River wax canvas, single flap on top, you know, cotton webbing and leather straps in the back with simple adjustments. All right, so I'm going to unload this. We'll take a close-up look at everything in here, and we'll be done. So before we actually talk about the contents of the pack, you know, everything starts with the Haversack, and the Haversack for me is, you know, pretty much the same. We all use it for the same thing. You know, we carry our little things around. We can collect tinder in them. It's a small little pack that we can carry some stuff if we're just, you know, out on a little bimble or a jaunt, you know. In this though, what I have done to help myself a little bit more is I've added a length of braided jute, and all this is just for fire making. It's just redundancy. If I needed to, I could take this, I can cut a hank off, I can fray it out, and I'll have enough to use for a you know, a small tinder bundle that I can add to other things to help, you know, create my fire. On the inside of this as well is I carry a strike force, all right, and this is attached to the Haversack. So in the event that I lose anything else that I may carry, if I put a fire kit in here, all right, I'm going to at least have this to help me along the way. I have a second set of paste beads that I put on here, and this is if I'm just doing dead reckoning. If I'm walking around, it's just more convenient for me to use these than grab the ones on my compass that I carry. I carry a whistle. That's for audible signaling. I want to get somebody's attention or whatever. All right, and that's what I use the Haversack for. Now, also on my belt, all right, I carry my primary knife. In my primary knife, I also have a ferro rod, but I've attached that with a lanyard to the sheath so that, you know, in case something happens any given time, at least it's still there. I may lose the knife, all right? It may fall out of the sheath. You don't know, all right? But at least I'll have this. There's another way to create fire again. I do have a secondary knife as well, but I also have a Leatherman on my belt as well. So I'd still be able to strike the ferro rod any number of ways, okay? So now let's take a look at what's actually in the pack. So essentially, you know, what are the things that I carry in this? Well, this is not really much different than most of the other packs or the kits that I come up with. I start with my 5 basic items that are the hardest things to recreate when we're out in the wild. Again, I have a knife, all right? This happens to be a Mora HQ, you know, the heavy duty, and it's also in the carbon version. This is my kick around knife in case I want to reserve the edge on my primary knife, all right? So I have that. It's a good knife, especially for the money that you're going to pay. I carry a Baco Laplander saw to help accommodate with firewood and things of that nature. I have my cook set, very simply, is a Guyette bottle, a titanium cup, and my spork, all right? So that'll be my container items that I have. I carry a fire bag. I have everything that I need to affect fire in that bag, okay? Surefire, steel wool, jute, you know, flint and steel, a lighter, you know, just all those things. If you see my video on my fire bag, you'll know what's in that video, or you'll know what's in that bag. That's also in a dry bag to keep everything nice and dry. In addition to that, I carry an Esbit stove, and anybody that's been doing bushcrafting for quite a while has always seen those, and you can pick those up for like $2, right? But you know, this also helps with Surefire, because you can use those trioxine tabs for, you know, creating fire, as well as just sitting there and cooking up a thing of tea really quick. All right, that's why we have that, and it comes in handy. You know, you may not want to make a fire, all right, so you'll have this. Okay, no big deal. I have my cordage. Okay, I have a little bit of complement of you know, paracord, and then I have my bank line for different things that I would need. Okay, diamond rod for sharpening tools. Here I have my shelter kit, which is nothing more than a sill tarp, an emergency space blanket, 4 ABS tent stakes. Okay, here I have a couple of bandanas. Now, another thing that goes along with the shelter is this SOL heat sheet. Okay, this is not the 99-cent, you know, emergency space blanket that you see that like just rips apart when you open it up. This is actually pretty good. I think they're like $2 or $3, but it's very large. It is, if I can find it on here, no, it doesn't give the size on the outside. But anyway, this is big enough to cover 2 people, which is why I like it, so you can actually wrap yourself in it and cocoon yourself. But this is also orange. Okay, very large if you needed to use it for signaling. Okay. The bandanas, I got 2 green ones, whatever, they're 100% cotton, plus I have a blaze orange one, again for signaling, you know, through visual means. You know, you think about SAR a lot of times too, and attached to that is a sail needle that we can use for making repairs on items. Okay, set of gloves, just a cheap set of gloves, work gloves. You know, you can protect your hands if you want. Duct tape. I also carry fix and wax for various reasons. Most of the time it's for tools. You can use it for fire. You can make a candle out of it. You know, a whole host of other things that you can do with the fixing wax. I have my Silva compass, or I'm sorry, this is a Sun2 compass, with pace beads and a whistle that are attached to it as well. Okay, there's the pace beads, and there's the whistle. Headlamp with extra batteries. All right, this happens to be a Princeton Tech. It has a red light. It also has 2 different intensities of white light that you can use. 2 bungee cords. You can use them for a whole host of things. You can use them for trap engines. You can use them to set up a basic 5-minute shelter if you need be, instead of running ridge lines. I carry 2 55-gallon drum liners, but I also carry a large clear drum liner for a transpiration still. If you're in a deciduous forest, I have a video on my channel about that, as well as a 2-gallon Ziploc bag to collect different, you know, edibles, foodstuffs, things of that nature, or even water if I had to. And then finally, I have my map tools, and I have my journal. I do carry a topographical map of the area that I'm always in most of the time, but I have that in there. So essentially that is the Tramp kit, and that's what I'm carrying most of the time now, and that's what I'll carry probably all through summer. It takes up just enough space. I can throw in extra, you know, extra clothing, you know, a day's worth of clothing at least, and I would also have enough room to put in a wool blanket if I need be. I don't have my Wetterlings, but I usually put a small Wetterlings hand axe in there to help along.
Guys, so as you can see, it's really not that much different than Sarge's kit, and you know, there's a reason for that. You know, guys find what works for them. If it works for them, that's what they use, and you'll see redundancies in what people use. The only thing that I want to make sure that people that watch my channel, you know that I have told you, you know, again, and I've re-emphasized it, you got to find out what works for you.
Just because I tell you that I use it, that doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Okay? We all come along and we all see things that work. Okay? If something works, you grab it, take it, and use it. All right? It's just another tool in the toolbox. Right? It doesn't mean that you're going to use it all the time, but if it does work for you and you've had success with it, you may go back to it time and time again. And then you find to perfect your kit to yourself, and then you tailor it for yourself. So design yourself your kit, make sure it works for you. This is Brian from Snowwalker Bushcraft. I thank you for your views and your comments, and until the next one, walk the woods.